This is Grief and Grit, from heartache to high fives with a dash of sass. The podcast that turns the tables on traditional grief talks with a fresh, sassy spin. Listen in for candid conversations about the messy, awkward, and downright hilarious aspects of dealing with loss. Because sometimes the best way to cope is with a little laughter and a lot of grit.
Hi, Simonie.
Hi, Greer. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, welcome everybody to
Well,
all our listeners.
That's right. Welcome.
And I'm Simonie, and I was widowed in 2008 when I lost my husband to cancer.
And this is Greer. I was widowed in 2021 when my husband went into cardiac arrest.
And so we're here to talk about grief and how we navigate the many, many nuances and the many emotions that come with grief. So to all our new listeners, welcome.
Yes, we're so glad you're here. And we know this time of year is really, really challenging. I know we just got through Thanksgiving. Simonie, how was your Thanksgiving?
So my Thanksgiving was actually divine. I had all 4 children in for the first
Aw.
time since Bianca got married a year ago, and it was just wonderful. I created this little bubble, and people were asking if they could come and see the kids, and I was like, no. You cannot. They're all mine and they're staying with me. And we had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Ariella, my one twin girl, she cooks everything.
Okay.
So turkey and all the trimmings.
Mhm.
And it was just wonderful. We were wrapped up in this magical little bubble that
Mm,
no one wanted to leave.
that's
So
really
that was
lovely.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And, I realized this Thanksgiving how far we've come as a family and, finding joy again. And I think that's what we're going to speak to today is how you can navigate these times. How was yours?
Thanksgiving this year was actually really nice. It's interesting because I was looking back or thinking back, I should say. And the first Thanksgiving without Jared, we went out of town with his family. I don't remember what we did in 2022. Like it's a total blank for me.
Right.
And then last year, I feel like I totally overcompensated for his loss and hosted. I had 55 people at my home.
Oh my gosh.
Mostly Jared's side of the family, and it was absolutely incredible, but I could barely move for a week after. I was
I can't even
exhausted.
imagine.
So, this year was really nice. We went to Jared's parents, for Thanksgiving, and there were less than 20 of us, which I know for many that's a huge Thanksgiving. For a Mendel Thanksgiving, that's actually small.
Mhm.
But it was really lovely. My parents and my sister actually came as well, which was nice. And I feel like it I feel like I've gotten to a place where it was just a really beautiful time. We just got to be together. My nephew is at the super fun age of 3.5,
Aw.
almost 4, and he was just so entertaining. And watching my 6-year-old and my nephew like wrestle, and they're basically the same size.
I love
Nobody
that.
got hurt. Like it was just really, really peaceful.
Isn't that beautiful?
It
Yeah, I
is.
felt the same. And for all of you listening, I know that for some of you who this might be your first holiday season without your
Mhm.
loved one, um, you know, there comes a time eventually that you can find that peace and you
Mhm.
can find that comfort and find the joy again. It takes a while, and like we've said, grief is so unpredictable. So yes, this Thanksgiving may have been beautiful and
Mhm.
perfect and comforting, and next Thanksgiving may be not,
Right.
maybe
Exactly.
all those emotions coming up again.
Mhm.
So everyone, whether you are celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or just enjoying this time of the year. I know for
Mhm.
me, this is my most favorite time of the year.
Same.
I love it. And, when we lived in New York, it was so
Oh.
wonderful because we were going to the city and there's
Yes.
nothing like New York at Christmas
Oh my
time.
gosh.
It's the windows and the lights and just the whole vibe,
The holiday spirit.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
in the
And
air.
people coming and going and roasting, peanuts and just everything that the movies say it is and that the songs conjure up, it's what it is. And I must be honest, because Mark passed away in New York, but he died in the summer. And for me, and I'm so grateful, the wondrousness of this time of the year didn't go away for me. It just, the first winter after he passed away, I still went into the city and looked at the windows and took in the vastness of it all and the beauty of it all and felt the warmth, and it's lovely. And but I know with it comes a lot of nostalgia and a lot of sadness and a lot of aloneness and
Right.
all those feelings that can come up from it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know for me, this has always been my favorite time of the year as well. In fact, Jared and I, our anniversary is January 3rd because we loved this time of year so much. We wanted to get married this time of year.
Right.
And the first few, I'll call them winter breaks, whether whatever the holidays were, but also the kids being out of school, I just dreaded. I knew that they were going to be really hard because it's supposed to be a time of happiness and family and togetherness.
Right.
And how could we be together without Jared? And I dreaded it. Having to do Hanukkah all by myself and just all the things that come with parenting solo, but also I didn't have my buddy there.
Right.
And our own traditions. And this year, I think, is finally the first year where I think I'm looking forward to it. We have fun plans for New Year's with friends, and family. Like I'm really looking forward to that. It's something that I'm excited about.
Right.
So I think that helps, just knowing it's on the calendar. And then just now that the kids are a little older and we had such a nice time over Thanksgiving, I
Yes.
feel like it's going to be really nice over winter break as well. And last year on my wedding anniversary, it was easier than the year before, which was easier than the year before that. And
Exactly.
I feel like I finally reached this place in my grief journey where I it still stings, but I can function, I can be happy even. So I'm
And
really
feel real happiness,
yes,
not have
true
to,
joy.
not
Right.
have to, be covering it up and put on this pretense.
Exactly. Like there's not this right. It's not there's the happy face or happy mask while the kids are awake and then, I'm bawling in my room at night.
Correct.
That thankfully has subsided for the most part. Thank God, because as y'all know, it is brutal.
And exhausting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking forward to the new memories and silliness and fun things that we're gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, it brings me to the point that being from South Africa, for those of you who don't know, my accent definitely didn't give me away.
What?
It's, our seasons are opposite. So
that's
this time of
right.
the year it was always summer.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
So it just, I don't know, it just, thinking back now, it was also very much, that, and in South Africa, for 3 weeks, everything shuts down. from this time of the year to the new year. Businesses close, everything shuts down, people are together. So there's still that whole family vibe.
Yeah.
But nothing like what you get here. Nothing with the lights and it's very different. So there's always that I look forward to.
Nice.
And I think that the years have passed for both of us, and for me 16 years, for you coming on to 4 years.
Yeah.
And I think that during that time, we've learned a lot. And what we want to do today is share with you all some of the things that have helped us navigate holidays and this time of the year, and hopefully things that you can take away and start implementing in your lives to make this a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of those is letting go of traditions that may cause pain. It could be the food that you're cooking and eating, or a place where you would go that reminds you of that person. This is about you, and you are allowed to make changes that are best for your own mental health. One tradition that we started during COVID was just like, obviously we were home with 2 little kids, but we did a little balloon drop with Daniel Tiger, and we made sushi at home, and it was just like a really fun, special thing to do with the kids. And I always thought it was a tradition we would continue, especially the sushi part. And now, like, I'm really sad, but we're not doing that. We're creating new memories, and I've decided I need to be with other adults.
Mhm.
So we get together with other families so that my kids are with their friends and I'm with other people whom I love, and I feel safe talking about Jared too. And that has created a safe space for me.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it was, during Hanukkah time, Mark and I would go together. We would choose a night. And there again, we lived in New York and we were going to the city, or I would meet him. He worked in the city, and we would, go gift shopping and just take in the evening and go get something to eat. And it was beautiful. And then after he died, the first Hanukkah was like, okay, I'm going to just change it up. So I did shopping in the suburbs where we lived. I no longer went into the city. I did it during the day, and it became more bearable for me. So, it's fine to change up things. And also, if the traditions still work for you, and if the traditions do bring you peace and do bring you comfort as they used to be, that is fine as well. Whatever works for you, whatever brings you peace and whatever brings you comfort is important.
Yeah, and actually one thing that we started doing last year that I think we'll keep doing because the kids really loved it is for Hanukkah, we lit another menorah for Jared. And
I love
yeah,
that.
and the kids just really enjoyed it. So, we will be a 4 menorah family.
I love
And
that.
it's just a sweet little thing, but
Yeah.
it makes the kids happy and it feels like, he's still with us. So that's a new one we started last year and moving forward.
I love that. And, that goes to if you put up a Christmas tree and you have ornaments, and you may want to add,
Right.
tagging on that. If you want to add a couple of ornaments that would have been from that person, that's a beautiful tradition to start.
A-
Absolutely.
Yeah, and something else that I saw when I was just doing some research, even still hanging their stocking, if it's too painful, don't hang the stocking. If you want to hang the stocking, do it. And I saw that some people will even write a note every year and
Right.
put it into the stocking. So again, you do what feels best for you.
Absolutely. And then the other thing that has helped me tremendously over the years, always have an exit plan. It doesn't mean that you have to adhere to it. But for example, like I've always made sure during difficult holidays to surround myself with the people who mean the most to me, who I'm the most comfortable with. And having said that, those are the people that invite you to Christmas dinner, to Hanukkah dinner, to Kwanzaa, whatever it is, they invite you to them. They're the people that you are the most comfortable telling if it gets too much and it gets too overwhelming, I have to leave. And that is fine. If you go into a situation knowing that there is a plan that you can leave, it helps. It helps take away the anxiety. It helps with the fear of having to face it. Not to say that you have to do this, but just going in and warning your host that I'm going to leave if it gets too much. And that person will 100% understand. Or it may be that you're having a great time and you stay the whole time. That's also fine.
Yeah, definitely. And also, a couple of other things you can do is you could even set a time limit of, let's say you give yourself an hour and a half. And if you're still having fun, then you can stay. And if you're not, then it's time for you to go. You did it. You should be really proud of yourself that you got to that point. And another thing that we don't really do as much as we probably should is maybe tell the host or the hostess how grateful you are for the invitation, that you would love to join. It's also a really difficult day and time for you, and that you plan to be there. And if anything changes, you will let them know.
Mm-hmm.
And thank them for their understanding and their love and support, even if they may not be the best at showing it.
Right.
Because if you,
aren't.
that's right. If you thank them for it, then it will remind them that they also need to be better. And you do you. If at the last minute you're getting ready and you feel like you just can't, that's okay. Phone your friend or your family and say you're not able to make it and you are so thankful for the invite, and hopefully next year.
Absolutely. Never force yourself into a situation. That's the very worst thing you can do when you're in a grief space, because it becomes compounded with anxiety, with fear, with dread, and it makes your misery worse. So,
Exactly.
choose the right people. And you can say no. This is all about you, which brings us to the next part, which is take care of you. Take care of yourself. This is your journey. This is your grief. This is your mourning. So what works for you, treat yourself. If it's going for a walk, if it's getting your nails done, if it's going to play a round of golf, whatever it is that works for you, do it. Allow yourself the privilege. You've earned it.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, grief is a lot of work.
Mhm.
It's like a full-time job you're on it 24/7. So if you can have a break from it and it's something that feeds your soul and nourishes you, do it. Give yourself that gift this holiday season.
Yeah, I mean, for those listeners who have been with us from the beginning, you probably know this is probably my favorite one of all, is the taking care of yourself, because it's so critical.
Yes.
And I think in that, what is it that you need? Do you need mindfulness and maybe just some alone time as you're preparing to get ready to go? Or do you need maybe some pampering, as somebody said, getting your nails done? Do you need to burn off some energy? As somebody said, playing a round of golf, go for a walk, whatever it is. It could even be retail therapy. That is mine.
Yeah. So if anyone needs tips on how to go about retail therapy, just send your questions to Greer. She'll be more than happy to A, do it for you, and B, show you how it's done.
So, get yourself a gift that might, mean something, whether it's a gift card to get your nails done,
Exactly.
or, maybe it's a new pair of shoes, whatever it is, you deserve happiness. And it's really, really hard to find those glimmers, especially when this is your first or second holiday without your loved one. And so just Do what you need to do to survive. Get a new sweatshirt, and that way, every time you throw it on, you think of the person giving you a warm hug, whatever it is.
Exactly. And that's such a good point, because you can imagine that gift coming from the person. That's something, that Mark may have bought for me. I went and bought it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still from him.
I mean, I used to joke and I still do sometimes, like, oh, thanks, Jared.
Yeah, right.
And
it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
And I know you, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you had said that you do gifts from Jared to the kids.
So that is a tradition that we do for his birthday. Is what I'll do is I'll buy something, and Jared was an avid reader, so books. But like I'll give them something that Jared would have loved,
Right.
and would have wanted the kids to have, or would have thought it was really neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's the thing. It just, it's okay to give a gift and say, this made me think of your person's
Whoever your
name.
right.
Exactly. And it incorporates them into the holiday. I know I loved giving photos for holidays. It helps to keep Jared's memory alive. Even memorial jewelry
Right.
gifts are beautiful. Maybe they have the person's name on it, or I actually had a necklace charm with Jared's picture on it. It was beautiful.
Beautiful.
So there are things that you can do to bring you closer to your person.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's, another brings us to the next point, which is be creative. Whatever works for you, be creative, whether it's, maybe as a family, you all get together Christmas Eve, whatever your traditions are, or new traditions that you want to make, and draw something or paint something or tell a story, or there's so many creative ways to keep that person alive in your heart, in your home, in your life. Maybe it's the chair that the person sat at, at the table when you're having your dinner, and a picture or a drawing or something that depicts who that person was.
Yes.
Is, a beautiful way to honor them. And if you're a sentimental person, there's so many wonderful ways that you can be creative. And if you're not like me, because I'm
email
not,
us. I'm happy to help.
yeah, I'm not a sentimental person. So for me, I didn't get that creative, but I know that it helps so many people. So whatever it is, a book or a picture, a painting, getting together, telling stories, that's a beautiful way to incorporate your person into the holiday season.
Yeah. And then another one, and anyone along the grief journey, I feel like probably already knows this one, but expect the unexpected. The reality is our person shouldn't be gone. They're supposed to be here with us, enjoying the holiday and celebrating as things were. And the reality is they're not here, and it's not fair, and it's unexpected. And life keeps throwing curveballs. So as you're going through this season, just know that, perhaps someone might say something that triggers you, or there's a tradition that you were really looking forward to, but maybe another person in the family doesn't want to do it anymore. Just it's really hard to be prepared for the unexpected, but while we suggest kind of having a plan of what you're going to do, also just be mindful that, as we know, life doesn't always go according to plan. And it's okay.
Right.
It's okay. You are going to get through this. It's another day. You can do it. You've gotten through worse, and you're getting through worse. So just keep reminding yourself of that.
Absolutely. And while you're doing that, it's we kind of expect oh gosh, I'm going to be sad, or, this day is going to bring tears to me. And then suddenly it doesn't. And you find yourself, you're with the people that you love, you're having a good time, you are, partying, you're connecting, you're talking, you're laughing. And that's okay, because so often we feel guilt. We feel guilt that our person isn't here. How can we be feeling any kind of happiness? How can we be feeling any kind of joy? You don't have to feel that guilt. There's no there's no rule, there's no law that says you have to not have a good time. And that's fine. So if joy comes up and happiness comes up, that's fine. And if the next day the tears come and the depression sets in a little bit, that's okay too. Because remember, grief and joy they do coexist. They are
There's no linear path.
no,
It's a back and forth.
exactly. And that's why, I mean, you
Right.
could be happy and then you go home and it's like, oh my God, it hits you like a ton of bricks.
Mhm.
So if it's in the joyful moment, it's causing some kind of distraction for you, that is so fine. Just go with it and enjoy it. Do never feel guilty on your journey of grief.
That's right. And at the same time of not, going along with not feeling guilty, you know, these were our people.
Mhm.
We lost someone who meant the world to us, whether it's a parent, a spouse, a sibling, a child, a best friend, whomever your person is. And many of us need to talk about that person to keep going
Correct.
and never feel guilty about talking about that person. If you need to make sure that you're surrounded with others who are comfortable with hearing that person's name, decline all other invitations and make plans with the person who wants to talk about your person or who is comfortable with it. We all know that there's so many people out there who are uncomfortable with the uncomfortable,
Exactly.
and that doesn't work for us. We need to honor our loved one, or recognize that they're not here with us. So how does that work, and who do you want to do that with? And that's what you get to decide. You are in control of that.
Absolutely. And because grief is so personal, it's a time of year where you might feel the most alone and the most lonely, because you look around you and everybody's shopping and having parties and enjoying themselves, and there's this buzz all around, and you feel the loneliness and the aloneness. And, that's why you'd be surprised, first of all, how many people out there are feeling the same as you for so many different
My
reasons.
God, yes.
We all feel so alone in our grief. And I
Mhm.
think that's part of what Greer and I are, this is what our podcast is about, is creating community for all of us who
Mhm.
are feeling these feels and feeling alone, and just to know that you're not alone, that you're not alone in this. And, hopefully the things that we've spoken about today can bring you some comfort, can bring you some peace, can allow you to recognize that what you're feeling is so valid and so true. And, we wish you a wonderful season, and
Mhm.
we wish you growth, and we wish you what you wish you. And remember to take care of you and do what makes you happy, what makes you comfortable.
That's right. We wish you much strength, and we send all our love to you during this time. And we just, again, whether it's your first time or 100th time, you will get through this. You are not alone in this. Grief is universal. Never forget that. So if you need to find someone who's also grieving, and you'll find a friend who understands. And we hope that you are able to find some peace during this time. And we will see you on the next episode. We will actually be talking about setting your intentions for the new year. And we're really excited. We're going to bring on a dear friend of ours to talk us through that. And we look forward to seeing y'all soon and into the new year.
Absolutely. So find some joy, find some comfort as you continue to move forward on this journey. Our
Yes.
love to you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. If you love what you heard, please follow Grief and Grit and share our podcast with your friends and family.